Today's likely to be a bit of a mixed bag. So I'll just run through it all as a sort of like vlog, but call it brew because it's mainly about beer and brewing. I got delivery this morning from the Craft Beer channel. They're doing a live stream tomorrow, and so they're having a bit of a drink-along thing. So 6 beers, 30 quid. It sort of like tops what I'd normally be prepared to spend, I have to admit. However, with the country on lockdown, it's not going to be one of those things that I'm going to be doing very often. If you don't follow the Craft Beer channel on YouTube, worth doing so. Basically, a couple of guys who go around drinking. A little bit more than that. They have, what got me really hooked on them was they did some breweries in America, and they did Alchemy Brewery in America, and some of you will know my new company, Alchemist, ALE Chemist Limited. And the point of that is not about brewing, it's more about involving people in the process in an ethical and sustainable manner, providing support but also looking after the planet. Oh yeah, hang on, forgot. So anyway, yeah, they did a visit to Alchemy Brewery, and that was when I first started getting into their stuff. Nice couple of guys. And also coming along with this is, look at that. Hey, Marley, what's the matter, mate? Craft Beer channel. Shut up, glass. So, isn't that good? As there's no pubs open to nick them from. Anyway, enough of that. That's enough of a plug for the Craft Beer channel. What we're doing today. Yesterday, I racked from the conical, stainless steel conical, into a standard fermentation bucket, which I'd flushed out. I flushed this out with CO2 and then racked it into there. And it's because, I'll see if I can stick a photo up here somewhere or wherever it is, of the amount of raspberries that were in the bottom of that conical fermenter. So what I thought I'd do is rack it to allow it to settle, and it should now be reasonably clear. This was just like milkshake yesterday, so this will show you how much this has cleared. Probably won't do very much with this, but that, I'm thinking there's 21 and a bit litres in there, so I'm going to bottle some of it as well. I'm going to take it from here into a corny keg, one of those there, which I'll have purged with CO2, and then what's left in here and that little bit I shall put into some flip top bottles with a carbonation drop or a little bit of dextrose, and then leave them to one side pretty much until the keg's empty, I should think. So I'm reckoning I'll get a keg and maybe 6 bottles out of that, which will be good. This is the Raspberry Heferweizen, raspberry wheat beer. And then, boys and girls, this is nearly full to the brim, so I can turn the reverse osmosis off. Oh, it's just starting to overflow, typical. Turn the reverse osmosis off, just drain it a little bit. Yeah, it's not too bad, it's at that level. Doesn't matter, that will soon evaporate. So we've got 50 litres. I'm about to do the water treatment in here. Today is going to be a Bohemian, get you, Pilsner, which is essentially a very simple, it's a bit like a smash, single malt and single hop. It's 5 kilograms of Bohemian Pilsner malt, which is one of these. Probably that one because there's not much left in there. And some Saz hops, about 110 or a little bit more, 115 gram of Saz hops. That's it. Easy, a dead easy, basic brew. Mashing at 65 degrees for an hour. Boil, I think probably for about an hour. Some hops at the beginning of the boil, some hops at the end. Then just whirlpool it probably for 20 minutes at 80 degrees. Well, I don't know. I'm going to have a look at the book about that, because that's what you do for a New England and an IPA. I'm not sure for lagers. We'll have a look. We'll have a little look and see what the collected wisdom is on that. So today, yes, so that's about it really. What we're going to do today. First, I'm going to rack that off and bottle the this Hefeweizen. Get the brew going when up to temperature. Put these somewhere safe, ready for the drink along YouTube thing tomorrow. I'll put a link underneath to the craft beer channel. It's too late now to order these, I should imagine. But I left a sort of comment even on their YouTube post and said next time a little bit more notice would be good for all of the people locked down and bored. Right, back soon when that is transferring. Right, just giving that a good flush out with Star San. I'm going to let it drain upside down onto the lid for a minute. Then I'm going to purge it with CO2. Well, that cloud in there is a cloud of CO2, and the reason for that is to minimise the potential chances of any oxygenation. So when I decanted this from or racked, I suppose the term you should use, from the stainless conical fermenter yesterday, I'd already filled this with CO2, so it's a reasonably oxygen free, just need to watch that there, I don't want that popping off, a reasonably oxygen free transfer. And again now I'm just going to pop this open to let some, there you go. Oops, sorry, I'll show you what I'm doing. So now we'll fill this almost to the top and then rack into bottles whatever is left. I think probably about, I said earlier, about 6, maybe 6 bottles. That'll be 3 litres. That'll probably be about right. Okay, back when it's done. I've got 19 litres in there and then 3 litres in bottle. Just plastic bottles, a 2 litre and a 1 litre with some carbonation drops. It'll be a little tester to see what it's like. Right, we're up to temperature. Going to mash in at 69. That should drop it down to about 65 because it's quite warm in there today. We've got 4 and 1 of floor malted Bohemian Pilsner malt, which I'm about to bung in there, but because I've only got 2 hands, I need to put my phone down when I do it. Just chuck the last little bit in. I don't tend to throw it all in at once. I'll put little bits in, stir it in. There's no prizes for speed when it comes to this. Got to be really careful not to get any dough balls. Beautiful. Right, I'm going to give this a good stir now for about 5 minutes and get our timer going for an hour. Let's see the temperature. Oh, 64.1. Can start some recirculation going just to warm that up a little bit through the herms, and then give it an hour. Oh yes, it's good enough. We are at the end of the mash, about to start the sparge, provided this looks all hunky-dory. Not sure about that. Oops. No. Not sure. Going to give it another 10 minutes. And as if by magic, 10 minutes later, let's see where we go when we splush. It's not brilliant. Try a little bit in the middle. Actually, no, that's okay. Getting worried there for a minute. Right, that's good. Check the final pH in a minute. Then start the sparge. Now, this is where the output from this pump, instead of going through the Herms and then back, is now going into the whirlpool on the boiler. So what we can do is start ever so gently transferring, and I'm going to let it initially just filter its way through, kind of on the siphon type effect. So give it a little bit of a pump just to get it going. That's it, and then restrict the flow using this. This here is now where we're going to start running from the HLT through the pump, through the Herms to clean out the Herms, through to start the sparge. This is that nice bit where that changes from a nice malty, milky colour to a nice clear colour as we flush the water through. There you go. Next we put the sparge ball on, and this is nice and gently just starting to siphon its way through. It's brought a couple of bits of grain with it, but that's not really a problem at the moment. And the reason I'm throttling this back is because if you suck it out too quickly, what I've found before is I've ended up with a stuck sparge because it just sucks the grain down and compacts it, whereas this really is just taking what's gently filtered through out of the bottom in through the whirlpool into the boiler, so it's not putting any strain on the grain bed. That's just filtering gently, if that makes sense. And when I turn on the sparge again, just gently, very almost like massaging the last few sugars. I'm going to stop this now. The transfer is complete. Now it's a 75-minute boil, so I know I'm going to lose 5 litres. So I filled it up to 30. It'll be at 25 by the time I've transferred it, 24 or 23 and a half. So we'll be fermenting about 23 litres, which is about right. Now we're bringing it up to the boil, or that's close to 100 degrees as is necessary. Oh yes, I've changed my mind about hop filters. I'm not using that one. I'm going to use, oops, the Beast. Now, reason for that is I want to get the fullness out of those Saz hops. That's going down nicely. Oops. Right, when that's up to the boil, we've got 77 grams. We've got a little while to go yet. Time for a coffee. I've opened the door because it's got bloody warm in here. So yeah, back in a moment for you, probably about 15 minutes for me, with some hops. Very nearly there. So temperature's now up to nearly 96, and I'm poised ready with 77 grams of Saz, and they smell amazing. Oh, I just stick my head in there and inhale. It's like being between a, never mind. It's just chuck the hops in, Bailey. There's the hops. The hops are in. 97-ish. Almost kind of at a boil there. It's a bubbly bit, isn't it? You could almost call that a bit of a rolling boil. I'm going to get me my magic paddle and just give this a little stir, just to get those hops happy. Oh, and that first smell's just hit me. Wonderful. This is why I like home brewing. It's nothing to do with a beer, it's just that smell. It reminds me of my childhood, of all the breweries of my childhood. Honestly, that's the only reason I do it, because I hardly ever drink it. So we've got 75 minutes. I sponge that on for 75 minutes. 15 minutes before the end, I'm going to chuck half a proto flock in there. That just takes control of the proteins. Gives you a bit of a clearer beer in the end. I think. I don't know, I think I might have read that somewhere in a book. Oh, those... Oh, let me show you. A couple of days ago, I was doing a brew out here in the sunshine. Now it's raining. These are the Saz hops from Malt Miller. And yes. Now the thing is, when I bought these are just 2 packets. That's for this brew. I think I bought 13 packets, and I want a couple of packets, 4 packets of yeast. And someone had a right little hissy fit tizzy on one of the Facebook groups, pleading with the malt miller, can't you restrict sales so that greedy bastards like Bailey can't just buy everything? And so I kind of like went off that group for a while. I don't know. I really don't know. I think what the person probably would have wanted is for the malt miller to sell these individually. So instead of doing one order with 13 hops, doing 13 orders of one hop, because that would have been far, far more efficient in their time. But do you know what? I don't know, life's too short. Isn't it, Delilah? Yes. And so I can't even remember who that person was, but basically, fuck him. We've got an hour to go on here. 72 minutes to go on here. I'm going to start doing the clean-up of getting all those into a bucket and out for fishes and ducks. Oh, that's the other thing. Put those there for a minute. What I was going to do, I don't know if anybody remembers, or indeed if anybody cares. When I made that sign the other day, our new sign, my new sign, and it was whapped, so I chopped that off and then used a little bit of creativity with a jigsaw just to make that unlevel, so it looks more rusticy. But this is the bit I chopped off, and what I was thinking of perhaps doing, putting a couple of bits of foam underneath, or a couple of blocks of floaty wood underneath, and making a little duck house where ducks can feed off, because at the moment most of the grains sink and the ducks do love them, but the thing is I can't keep those for very long because they start fermenting themselves. Look at that, how wonderful is that? We've got a boil going, boys and girls. So I think I might make a little stand for the ducks, and I could use perhaps use these takeaway containers, 'cause we never throw these away. I refuse to throw these away, so perhaps put a screw in there, or perhaps put two in there, or perhaps a bigger one in there, I don't know, something, and then have that floating so it floats and then the ducks can come and help themselves. You didn't really need to know any of that, did you? Apart from the fact that I like to feed my grains to the ducks. This is 5 kilos in there, and now they've absorbed all that. It's probably about 8 or 9 kilos worth. Right, back when that's nearly ready to start going, I'm going to do the whirlpool first. I'm going to give it a whirlpool for about half an hour, and then through the plate chiller. Plate chiller today, I'm going to chill it right the way down because I think this one ferments at about 12 degrees. I need to go and look at the recipe, but it ferments really cold because it's a lager. So well, it's Pilsner, which is like posh lager. It's what you get in Waitrose, not Aldi. Right, back soon. Whoa, that's it. That I filled that one up again to clean everything down. Lovely. Now final addition is 38 grams more Saz hops, which those ones came from Malt Miller. There's a better place to get hops. There's a guy on a couple of the Facebook things, Timmy Jenkins, does possibly about the best deal on hops you're likely to find. Timmy, get some Racal. I know people who would give you their sister's phone number for Racal. I would, but you wouldn't want my sister's. Right. So those have gone in. I'm going to give that, I don't know, 30 minutes, 20 minutes. The time is now, well, it's actually, look at that, 5 o'clock. We're going to call it 5 o'clock, so about 20 past 5. And I'm going to run the whirlpool just to, give them a bit of, I don't know what I'm talking about. Give them a bit of agitation. Right, so this is now coming out of here. This is a what's it? There's a filter in there. One of those bazooka filters. This, I'm going to open this up just to let some of the air out. That's good. So that's open. That's open. We're now going to pump up through the whirlpool. Which of course you won't really see because the hot spider won't transfer that through, but there will be, you won't get the whirlpool in the hop spider as much as on the outside, but it will still have that effect of moving the wort around enough, if that makes sense. I don't know. Not a lot of what I say makes sense, does it? How's that doing? Yeah, it's going. Right, 20 minutes, and then we'll swap this out for a different filter. I'll go through the plate chiller and get it right cold. So I'll run a full power fresh water through there. I'll usually throttle it back to slow it down, because I don't want it too cold, but this I think ferments at something like 12. So I've star sanded this. This has been all flushed it out with nice fresh foamy star sand. What else? Oh god, I don't know. Right, come back when it's ready to go into fermenter. Right, I've just had a look at that filter and there's virtually nothing in it at all, so I'm gonna guess that there's not a huge amount needs filtering out of here. Well, I hope not. Anyway, we'll probably get it stuck inside the kettle itself. So next is we run it down through the filter, through that pump, up and into the plate chiller, out the plate chiller into the fermenter. First of all, start running water through the chiller. Good. Turn the pump on. Any minute now. Well, that's good. We've got something going on. And that's what temperature it is at the moment. Good. Now that's from that probe there. So it's measuring the temperature of the wort as it leaves the plate chiller. 17. Still quite high. I'm going to increase the flow by taking this kink out of here. That should help. Sorry Delilah darling, showing off your Sunday best, my girl. Oh, let's put that over the top. And that should start bringing the temperature down. It's still quite high, that. I think I'll restrict this a little here. Okay. That's taking it down. It's still pitchable temp. Good. Look how quickly that has done 25 litres. That's bonkersly beautiful. And we've gone for a complete cycle without a blockage, which is reassuring. Still think we might have... Right. This is why I wanted to use... Sorry, that's the shadow of my phone. That's why I wanted to use the big hop spider, because that is a lot of hops there, look. Oh. Come on. Get the fuck out. Oh. Yes. Right. Now how much of this are we not going to be able to get, I wonder? Doesn't seem to be doing that bad at the moment. I think possibly that's wherever it is there, that filter may be getting a bit blocked. But I still think we've got some kind of like movement going, so that's all right. Have we still got stuff coming through here? Yes, we have. so far, all going to plan. Yeah, it's definitely going down, it's just slow. Marvellous. Now, when that's all through, I'm going to take that upstairs because the fermentation fridge that I've got free at the moment is upstairs. I can't believe all of these other ones are populated at the moment. Then we'll take a hydrometer reading, and I don't know how long it's going to take to ferment. At 12 degrees, I should imagine. I'm going to give it a couple of weeks anyway, and then it takes a couple more weeks to condition. Yeah, that's still pulling some through. Yeah. Right. Back when I've taken it upstairs with a hydrometer reading of 105.3 and a titch. I have pitched in the yeast, W yeast 2124, something like that, Bohemian lager yeast, and I'm going to drop the temperature in here down to 11, because the specs for that yeast say anywhere between 8 and 12, so we don't want to overstress it, so I'll drop it down to 11, maybe 10, mid-range, and then wait a couple of weeks, see how long it goes. That's that for now. Let's have one last look at those beers from the craft beer channel. That was my little taster of the raspberry Hefeweizen. Yeah, so we got a reasonable mix. I can't remember what all of them are. I mean, there's a couple of stouts and a couple of IPAs, you know, the usual thing for the drink-along-a-thon. Obviously, fuck me, 10.4%. Right, okay. Well, that's not going to be a starter, is it? I mean, that's fairly heavyweight as well. 6.9. Collective Arts IPA. Good. We have now. I've seen this before. It's a very nice saison. I don't think. Flipping heck, that's 6.5% as well. This craft beer channel, guys, if you ever watch this, I ain't gonna make this whole drink along-a-thon, I tell you. I'm gonna be fucking slaughtered halfway through. That's more like it, sessionable. They're called lager. I think this one possibly wins it for the label. It just looks like a Facebook feed, doesn't it? They'll probably be mortified if they heard me say that. Serve at 6 to 10 degrees C. Yeah, we can do that. Oh, well, how about that? See, now, here's the thing. Having just done me raspberry, it's not a Berliner Weiss, but, you know, Hefeweizen. Right, okay, be interesting to see. That's all right now, you see. 4.5%. Yeah, we can do that. That's those two can probably be start off before getting completely wankered. And that's interesting. It's a hybrid Pilsner and yeast. Yeah, wheat. Yeah, okay, good. Sessionable pale, good. That's what we want. Actually, that's quite a groovy little label. That would be fitting of the Cambridge Brewing Company. in Boston, Massachusetts. Will. Hello, Will. I doubt Will will ever watch this, but they do. They got a really nice IPA, sort of like New Englandish IPA called. See, that's more like it at 4.4%. That's all right. So we'll start off with those before getting too wankered on the high strength ones. They've got one called. Oh crikey, what's it bloody called now? Just a sec. Nope, can't find it. I think it's called Flower Child. Anyway, an IPA Flower Child. Lovely drop. And of course, you know, for the drink along a fun, here's one of the craft beer channel's glasses, as I showed you earlier. So yes, a dangerous little collection there. I think everybody will probably agree. So tomorrow night might be a bit of a write-off. and Thursday I might come up smiling Friday in time for Saturday. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, I think I'll have that as the thumbnail, shall I? Something like that. Or I might have it, if I have it like that. Oh look, I've got all the taps in the back. There you go. I might have that and then put some words over here or something. Oh, by the way, purple hair dye. Say no more. Right, if you've enjoyed this nonsense, please feel free to subscribe. It'd be lovely to have you. Until the next time, drink heavily, or is it something responsibly or heavily? Both. Drink heavily and responsibly, and I'll see you soon. Bye.